Everyone on my street had an unspoken rule about the house at the end. No one pointed at it. No one talked about it. And if a guest asked why the streetlights stopped before reaching that far, we changed the subject. I moved there 3 years ago, into a narrow 2-story rental halfway down the block. It was quiet, safe, boring in the way suburbs usually are. Kids rode bikes in the evenings. Lawns were trimmed with military precision. Neighbors waved but never lingered long enough for real conversation. Except when it came to the house. It sat at the very end of the cul-de-sac, half hidden behind a leaning oak tree and an overgrown hedge. The first week I lived there, I asked my neighbor Carol about it while we were both collecting mail. "Does anyone live in that house?" I asked casually. She didn't answer right away. Her hand tightened around her letters. "It's best not to worry about it," she said, and walked inside without another word. That was my first clue something was wrong. Over time, I noticed patterns. Delivery drivers never went that far. Kids turned around before reaching the last driveway. During block parties, the tables stopped a full house length away, like an invisible boundary had been drawn. One night, after a few beers, I asked another neighbor, Mark, about it. He stared at me for a long moment, then said, "Look, man, just don't go near it. That's the rule." "What rule?" "The one everyone follows." I laughed it off then. But the longer I lived there, the heavier the silence felt. Like the street itself was holding its breath. Not clear shapes, just the sense of someone standing where they shouldn't be. Once I thought I saw a light flicker behind one of the upstairs windows. The next morning, it was gone. Same dead house, same silence. I started having dreams about it. Dreams where I was standing in the street, every neighbor watching from their windows, their faces blank. It was a Tuesday. Cold, quiet, nothing unusual. I was up late working when I heard shouting outside. At first I thought it was kids messing around, but then I heard screaming. Real panic. A man was stumbling down the street from the direction of the house. He looked disoriented, barefoot. His clothes torn like he'd been dragged through bushes. His arms were wrapped around himself like he was freezing. He pounded on Mark's door first. "Help me!" he yelled. "They won't let me leave!" Lights flicked on inside Mark's house, but the door didn't open. The man ran to Carol's place next, then the Hendersons, then my own neighbor across the street. He knocked, screamed, cried. No one opened their doors. I could see silhouettes behind curtains, faces watching, waiting. My heart was racing. This wasn't some prank. This man was terrified. I grabbed my jacket and ran outside. The moment my foot hit the pavement, someone shouted my name. "Don't!" Mark hissed from his porch. He hadn't stepped outside, just cracked the door enough to speak. His face was pale. "Go back inside." "What the hell is wrong with you?" I yelled. "That guy needs help!" The stranger collapsed in the middle of the street, sobbing. "They said I could leave," he cried. "They said it was over." Carol finally stepped onto her porch. Her voice shook. "You shouldn't have come out," she said to me. "You don't understand." "Then explain it." No one answered. That's when the man slowly turned his head toward the house at the end of the street. The front door was open. Something was standing in the doorway. It was tall, too tall, thin in a way that didn't look human. I couldn't make out its face, but I knew it was watching us. The man began screaming again, backing away. "No, no, please, I did everything you asked." The thing moved, not walking, gliding, closing the distance impossibly fast. The man tried to run. It caught him by the arm. He didn't scream this time, just looked at us, at me, eyes wide with betrayal as he was pulled backward, scraping against the asphalt, back toward the house. I tried to move. I couldn't. The front door closed. Silence returned to the street. No one spoke for a long time. Eventually, Mark stepped fully outside. He looked 10 years older than he had an hour earlier. "You weren't supposed to see that," he said quietly. "What was that?" I asked. He swallowed. "The cost." That's when they finally told me. Years ago, before I moved in, something came to that house. No one knows what it is. No one knows where it came from. All they know is that it offered a deal. Safety. No break-ins, no violent crime, no missing children, no tragedies. Property values rose. The street became a perfect little bubble. In exchange, every so often, someone who didn't belong would be drawn to the house. A drifter, a runaway, someone with no ties. And the rule was simple. If they came back out, no one helped. Ignoring the house was part of the agreement. Pretending it didn't exist kept it contained. And if someone breaks the rule? I asked. Carol met my eyes. Then it starts looking closer to home. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, there were police cars on the street. They asked questions, took statements. No one mentioned the man. No one mentioned the house. By the afternoon, the street was quiet again. A week later, a for sale sign went up in front of my house. I hadn't listed it. I asked Mark about it. He didn't look surprised. It's probably time, he said. It knows you saw. That night, as I packed, I noticed something new, a faint light, glowing from the window of the house at the end of the street. And for the first time since I'd lived there, someone was standing on its porch.